hope that you can hear me. My name is Bogusław Tobiasz, and I'm the regional IT director responsible for the CE region at Bayer Polska. So today I would like to give you some insights into the future of e-health and nutrition. So let's try it with the kicker because it's pretty straightforward. Before we'll start to talk about the future of e-health, I would like to refer to the Earth. Refer to the Earth, and it's really crucial to understand that we are here for the moment, and we have to secure sustainable development. Why we have to secure sustainable development? For further generations, And that is why it's worth to understand the main challenges on the Earth. Before my presentation, before the future, I would like to give you some insights about the main challenges that we have to tackle. So let me try to display a quick movie, Mr. Kicker. All right, so Bayer is a life-science company with over 160 years of tradition in health and nutrition. So we can talk about both topics. I will start with the nutrition. So according to the research conducted by the European nations, by 2050, number of people will increase from 7 billion into 10 billion. So we will have 3 more billion people on the Earth that we have to feed somehow. And we are not going to have more ground on the Earth. We are not going to have more ground. So how can we feed all these people? 3 billion is like China and India all together. It means that we have to increase the quality of food and enhance the efficiency of our production. Yeah? So that's the key priority for us. Also, on the other side, we can see the healthcare. And looking on the research, by 2050, 2 billion of people will be older than 60 years. So that's a fantastic news because we're going to live longer and we'll have a chance to visit different countries, set up different relationships with different people, exchange experience and know-how and knowledge. However, if we want to live longer, we have to figure out how we're going to identify the most common diseases in an early stage, when we can curve. Because of 68% of deaths are due to non-communicable diseases. Non-communicable means identified in advanced stage, when it's difficult to treat or care of people. Again, kicker. So what is the future, and what are the main priorities in front of us, taking into account e-health? So within Bayer, we identified 8 key priorities that we want to address within the next 5 years. So we can start with the easiest one, the usage of artificial intelligence in R&D. So we can do this a little bit differently. Let's do some kind of brainstorming. Is there anyone in the room? Is there anyone in the room who knows how to use or leverage artificial intelligence in research and development? Please raise your hands, guys. Anyone? Cool, I can see a few hands. So please make sure that we'll have a catch-up after the conference. We've got the booth, which is next to the main entrance, and we have to exchange the experience. And what is all about? The artificial intelligence. So basically, we want to leverage the artificial intelligence in order to squeeze the time which is needed to develop a new drug medicine into the market. Usually it takes 10 years in order to develop a new medicine to the market. So how can we use the artificial intelligence to squeeze that time into 2 or 3 years, maybe? Yeah? So that's a challenge. The second priority is about the blockchain. Blockchain in healthcare. Everybody talks about that blockchain. It's a bit foggy topic. So here we are looking for the disruptive solutions using the blockchain technology in order to empower our patients enhance treatment options, and support healthcare systems. So it's like a self-care. So how can we expedite that? Digital therapeutics. So this is really cool. As in this area, we are looking for the patient-centric digital solutions that treat chronic diseases with behavioral and lifestyle changes. So the idea is we have to figure out how can we activate people to be more active, especially I'm thinking about the older generation. So how can we attract them and pull them from homes to gyms, for example? Heart diseases prevention. As you remember, 68% of deaths are due to non-communicable, and one of them is heart diseases. So we are looking for the solutions that could help us to prevent from the heart diseases. The next one is my favorite one, physicians, patients, and caretakers engagement. So here we are trying to build some kind of an ecosystem between Bayer, big companies like Bayer, hospitals, physicians, patients, maybe an BCR, so Polish Research and Development Center, and how we can exchange the data about the healthcare status in order to identify diseases in the early stage. The next priority is about the virtual clinical trial solutions. So this is interesting, and that's a quite new topic on the agenda. So here we are talking about the way how the clinical trials are currently conducted. So how can we change that, and how can we engage people from different continents, from different regions into the clinical virtual trials in order to, again, the squeeze, accelerate the time which is needed to perform the clinical trials. And the last two, neurological enhancements and solutions. And we have over here two categories. So this category is dedicated for the older generation. Here we are looking for the solutions that could help us to increase the quality of sleep and cognitive functions. Very important. I know that's a really big pain. Women's healthcare, absolutely important. Here we are talking about the four categories. The first one is that we are looking for solutions that could help us to address the main challenges in terms of with endometriosis, cycle tracking, contraception, and general wellness. Very crucial elements. So if you know, or you've got some ideas, creative ideas, make sure that we'll catch up and we'll have a proper conversation after the presentation. So we live in a time of a rapid transformation and constant breakthrough in biology and technology. So Bayer, on one side, is heavily focused on biology, because that's a chemical company, and we have a lot of scientists with a huge background in this area. So scientists are heavily focused on microbeam, stem cell, or gene editing. However, this world of biology is heavily supported nowadays by the world of technology. On the side of technology, we want to leverage the usage of artificial intelligence, robotics, optics, and nanotechnology. Think about the small robots that we could inject into our bodies that could exchange the data about our basic parameters. So the biggest challenge is we want to combine these worlds, to combine, put the patients at the center, and create the most innovative solutions that could help us to live longer and be happier. All right. Still, the complexity of the human body continues to challenge us. Still, we have a lot of topics and areas that are a little bit foggy, and we don't know how to address or how to eliminate the most common diseases. Right now, within Bayer, we are heavily focused on DNA replication and repair and RNA processing. We could talk about the other aspects, but we are not going to have a time today for that. Taking into account the complexity of the human body, we can see new options on the horizon, and that's fantastic news. We can see that once we will invest more and we'll spend much more time on gene editing, for example, by someday, scientists will be able to figure out how to eliminate or reduce the number of the most common diseases. So that's the future, gene editing. As I mentioned at the beginning of my presentation, Bayer is a life science company. On the one side, we are heavily focused on healthcare. On the other side, we are focused on nutrition. That is why we invested a lot in agriculture. In the States, you can imagine that we've got a lot of big farms, and we invested a lot in digital farming, a lot in artificial intelligence and in drones that are connected to the stock exchange to measure the price of corn, potatoes, and other products, to schedule production, to obtain the highest possible yield and the highest possible price for the farmers. Also, moving forward for the supply chain processes, as we are a manufacturing company as well, production is leveraging robotics. So here the idea is that we want to automate our production life cycle as much as it's possible and pull the people and let them work on activities that may bring the added value to our patients. Opa. So as you can see, technology is driving innovation along the value chain. So looking at the beginning of the process, research and development is heavily supported by artificial intelligence and wearable devices. I believe that a lot of people's got a smartwatch, and we exchange the data between different caretakers. Production process is heavily supported by 3D printers and robotics, all the automation which is available. And at the end of the process, we've got the marketing and sales activities. And this area is heavily supported by blockchain and multi-channel strategies. So the second part of my presentation will be talking about the technology. That is why I'm going to change the slide into pink, because I would like to give you some kind of an executive summary about how do we address the collaboration between startups and big companies like Bayer. So within Bayer, 5 years ago, we started to work on a program called Grants for Apps. Right now, we've changed the name, and it's called #G4A. So Grants for App starts with the people. It's all about the people, about the passion to innovate, about the innovation, about the digital technologies. So we want to create the gang jointly with you, with all of you, some kind of an ecosystem where we could address the main challenges and provide the best solution. To shape the culture of innovation and collaboration between different caretakers and patients, and attract the top talents to innovate, and once again innovate. That's a big challenge. So within that program, we want to build a bridge between external innovators, between startups and Bayer. We want to drive the co-development activities, and we want to deliver the value for the patient. To put the patient, everything what we do should be valuable for our patients. So within that program, we have 4 functional streams. The first one is called STEM for Health Meetups. So so this is a pretty big community. The aim of this community is to share the knowledge and best practices across the world. So we are pretty active, and we organize all these meetups regularly in over 31 countries. The community is pretty big. We want to share the knowledge, inspire each other. I remember that a year ago we decided to set up this meetup in Poland, in Warsaw, where we have the headquarters for the CE region, and suddenly we had a chance to catch up with over 50 different startups. That's a pretty good figure. The second stream under the G4A program talks about the co-working offices. So basically, we want to open our offices and let you to collaborate with us. So we've created 7 co-working offices across the world. In Shanghai, Budapest, Moscow, in Warsaw as well, where we could co-work and collaborate together. The office is free of charge for all of you. So we have the list of challenges, and we are looking to collaborate with you. Again. And now the heart of the G4A program. It's called Accelerator. So this is a program dedicated for the early mid-growth stage startups, and where we are looking for startups that could help us to deliver solutions against the 8 categories that I've described at the beginning. Artificial intelligence in R&D, digital therapeutics, and so on, so on. So the program, we kicked off the program in this year at the beginning of April. Till the end of May, we're going to collect different submissions from all around the world. The idea is that we want to invite you to this program. So if you have an idea, please fill in the form, which is relatively simple. It takes 5 minutes, and you will have a chance to sign off the deal with Bayer, and we could work together. Obviously, we provide some fundings. Usually, we provide 50,000 euros and 3 months of time in order to convert your idea into the proof of concept. That's enough to do so. Obviously, you've gotten access to the mentorship, free of charge office, infrastructure, tools, and space to work and exchange. The program kicked off. We are waiting for your submissions till the end of May. In June, we're going to select the best ideas, and in July, we will announce the most likely 6 up to 8 startups that we will invite to the program. The next program is called the Dealmaker. And the Dealmaker is dedicated for the major startups, for the companies that has a product on the one market or in the region, product against a concrete challenge. So if you are interested and you've got an idea or a product, please feel free and check out the details and the list of current challenges on grantsforapps.com. There is a separate URL that will point you to the Dealmaker page. And if you've got the product that fits to the challenge, feel free and apply, because we're going to collect the ideas till the end of June. In this program, you can negotiate the level of investment. You will be invited for a pitch day to Berlin in front of the leadership team, and then you will negotiate the level of investment. Usually, at that day, we will sign off the letter of intent, so we are pretty agile. We are very fast and focused on this topic. OK, so we are moving to the end of the presentation. At the end, I would like to give you two tangible examples. The first one is a startup from Hungary. It's called Turbine. I can see a few colleagues from Hungary, so they can give you a bit more details. So what they did, they validated the cancer cell simulation algorithm with wet lab experiments. So this is a huge step forward. So they successfully closed the first round of investment, and right now they're in front of the clinical trials. And we are in a negotiation process right now with them, and fingers crossed that it will be successful and they will go smoothly through the clinical trials. If so, that would be a really huge step forward. The second example is the startup called Oracle. Oracle, the fantastic lady from the United States, and she developed a diagnostic assay for endometriosis by playing around with flavonoids and plant extracts. That's a crazy idea. So during the research, she collected an interesting data in terms of sensitivity and specificity. So the R&D department is in close contact with her, and right now she's ready for the clinical trials. Fingers crossed for the success, and I hope that it will be available soon. Okay, can I ask for next slide? Can I get the next slide, please? All right. So this is the last slide. So I would like to thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, exchange the knowledge, experience. And I would like to encourage you to visit our booth, which is next to the main entrance. It's called the G12. We have a lot of people, and I'm happy to continue our conversation after the conference and exchange the knowledge. Have a good fun, take care, and thank you very much.
Panie, panowie, Bogusław Tobiasz.